So this equipment is some of my favorite photography and videography equipment that I very, very rarely ever get to use. I'm a property photographer and videographer, which really needs a very specialized set of tools in order to get the footage and the photos that I need. And some of this gear I very, very rarely ever get to use, but I absolutely love them. So first up is this. So these are Pelican cases. Now I have about 3 or 4 of these here. This one's the newest one and my most favorite one because it has these wheels on it, so you can wheel it about airports and to shoots. Particularly useful for commercial shoots. I really don't use it so much for shooting property videography and photography because there's really no need to be carrying a case around. A bag is much easier. You can carry it on your back and attach a tripod to the side of it, but these are super for looking a bit more professional when you arrive on set and for carrying it through as carry-on luggage. So inside I went with the track pack system, which is this system of like dividers and these pins that you kind of put in. You can customize it to your own size, which is really useful. And it also has this top organizing sheet thing here where it also comes with styrofoam as well. So really, really good bit of kit. Absolutely love these things. Never really get to use it. And they're super tough. You could drive over this in a car and really nothing would happen. Great bit of kit. Next up is the glide cam. Let's set these down like this. Wonder, can you zoom out a bit and see that? Yeah. Most videographers have heard of a gimbal. I've got one of those too. Where's it? So most people have heard of a gimbal. Now this is the RS4 by DJI. Most people have seen these, and it has a wee small rig LP battery thing connected to the side of it for power delivery to the R5C. But this is like the industry standard bit of filmmaking kit for getting smooth footage. In particular, what I use it for is for property shoots. It does really well for commercial. It does everything really well, but it's really, really smooth footage, right? So if you want something that's kind of in between smooth footage and handheld, you really want to be looking at something like this. So this is a glide cam. This one is the Devon Graham Signature Series glide cam, and this one is the HD 2000. Both really, really good bits of kit. And I like to describe these as they're a much more cinematic piece of equipment in that the footage, it's not as smooth as a gimbal. It's right in the middle. So this looks a lot more natural to what the human eye looks like. It's only really suitable for some things. I don't really find it suitable for commercial work. It's only really suitable for me, for weddings and for maybe some like action shots. But I love these, really expensive as well. I think this glide cam, I think the Devon Graham Signature Series was about 590 quid. This glide cam HD 2000 was about 150 quid second hand, and then I had these small plates made up separately. So great bits of kit. They're one of my favorite pieces of filmmaking equipment is the glide cam, but I don't shoot very many weddings, and there's not really very many situations where I would really need to use one. But when I do, they're absolutely fantastic, and the footage that comes out of them, when you use it, it's very, very hard to go back to a Ronin other than convenience. The Ronin's a little bit lighter. It's much, much easier to use. The learning curve's quicker. You can usually get the shot that you need when you're shooting super slow and super smooth footage first time round, whereas this might take a little bit longer. But for weddings, fast moving subjects where you're running and gunning, this is by far and away superior because it's manual and there's no electronics or battery. So great bit of kit as well. Unfortunately, never get to use them. So next up on the list is this. This is the slider. So I would use this in commercial shoots, for example, when I would be shooting interviews, right? So instead of having just one camera here and maybe another camera here shooting separate angles, I would put another camera on this. So it's like a reel with a belt-driven motor. Now, this one's not the most expensive one in the world, albeit it actually does get you quite good footage. So this is what it looks like. It's a carbon fiber reel with 2 like poles in between it, and it works really easy. The motor just moves the camera like this from side to side, and you adjust the angle of the top pole with this. All it does is gently moves the camera left or right as it moves from left to right. So I really love this bit of kit. If you ever want to up the production value of, for example, a commercial interview, or you've product photography to do that requires really intricate moves that you can't get with a gimbal, this is an excellent alternative. I think this was about 300 quid. Again, I never really get to use it as much as I'd like to. It is a wee bit footery and a bit hard to get set up, but when you do, the footage is very good. Albeit, this reel system isn't the most accurate thing in the world. if you really want a really high quality version of this bit of kit, you're probably talking about £2,000. So for 300 quid, I think it's an absolute bargain, and it really will up the production quality of whatever you're doing, mostly interviews and commercial work. So great bit of kit, never get to use it. So next up is my favorite lens of all. So this is the Canon 70-200, my all-time favorite lens. This is the RF version 2.8. It retails for about somewhere between £3,000 and £3,500 in pound sterling. And I absolutely love this lens. Now, the problem is with it is that if you kind of think of how many times you use your iPhone lenses, the vast majority of times you'll use 0.5x or 1x, and that's like 13mm to 24mm. Maybe up to 50mm if you use the 2x zoom. This really starts at 5x on your iPhone, just to give you an example of how zoomed in it is. So the 70-200 focal range is really, really nice because there isn't too many phones can use it. So when you see photos taken with this, you can instantly tell that it's been taken with a really high quality lens. Not too many phones can do this, but they can do other focal lenses focal ranges a lot better. I use this if I'm in introvert mode and I can't be arsed going and talking to people to get photos of them. So I'll sit behind the scenes away at a distance, you know, maybe 20 meters away, and I can get shots with them, shots of them from a distance. And it gives you that lovely compression in the background, which works really well. So big fan of this lens, really am. Never really get to use it in property photography and videography because I really only use this 15-35. There's no real need for anything closer than that. This is probably the best quality 70-200 you can get. Has this control ring on it as well, which is super handy. So great bit of kit, never get to use it. Love to use it some more. Next on the list is this. This is the DJI Pocket 3. I bought this for one very, very specific use case, and that is for filming moving cars. If you've ever priced the equipment needed to mount a camera to the outside of a car, it's easily about £4 or £5,000. Whereas with this in particular, pairing it up with this bit of kit, this is the single greatest piece of kit for filming automotive that you'll ever encounter. It's absolutely incredible. So this kind of sucks onto the side of a car. I'll show some photos here in the background of what it looks like. The Pocket 3 goes on the top here without the tripod mount, it sits there. And this kind of acts like a dampening arm that stops it that keeps the footage even smoother. It gives you that fourth axis of stabilization where a gimbal only gives you the three. So really impressive bit of kit. This I think is about 500. This was about 250 or 300 maybe. Together, absolutely incredible if you shoot automotive. What I really like about this is that there's an app with the DJI Pocket 3. So you can get another suction mount just like this and clamp it onto the windscreen of your car. So you can have it sitting on one side, drive on the other side, and either a passenger or yourself can use the auto track system to actually track a moving car. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is that the field of view is still very wide. I think it's 28mm equivalent focal length, which is just too wide, or sorry, 24. There's a wide lens here that brings it to, I think, 15. Additional sticky thing, I don't use it. There's a set of ND filters, which I do use to get the shutter down to 180 degrees, and there's also the wireless mic as well as part of the the more expensive package, which is really handy as well. You can clip that onto like the rear of the car for the exhaust, so you can get audio as well. The quality of this thing is absolutely insane for the price. So really great bit of kit that you can use for filming cars. So I would use this sometimes for the likes of commercial work where I need to film like a lorry or moving vehicles or something like that. The only time I've really in practice got to use it was on a track where I took both my car and a friend's car on track. You can watch that video here, and great bit of kit, absolutely love it. So something that I'd highly recommend if you're into filming automotive. So last but not least, so this is the Canon RF 28mm f2.8. It's a great pancake lens that is really good for travel. So if you ever want to take a big camera with you, for example, like a mirrorless Canon camera, the one that I usually use for travel photography is the Canon EOS R, and I'll pair it with this. Great bit of kit for doing street photography, travel photography, because it is so small and lightweight. I'm currently using the EOS R here. I'll show you. So I'm currently using the EOS R as my B-roll camera with the 24-70. So the problem with this is that the lens is so big and heavy and cumbersome, which is okay for shooting weddings or commercial work, but when you want to do like street photography and be a wee bit more inconspicuous, it's really, really noticeable. People like tend to look at you when you're carrying a big lens like this here in public, unless you're at like a paid commercial shoot. This is so much more nimble and small, and a lot of people won't really notice you using this here in public, which is great. It has the control ring on it. It's not an L series lens, which is a bit of a shame, but it is super duper high quality. Big fan of this, but this is actually a really, really great lens. I would recommend this to anybody. So I guess that's the end of the video. Those are the 6 pieces of equipment that I use the least, even though I love them probably quite a bit more than some of the other equipment I have. So if you found that interesting, give it a subscribe. I'm going to be doing a bit more content behind the scenes, a bit more filmmaking content over the next few months. So thanks for watching. Chat to you soon.